Hey everybody, this is Curtis, owner, founder, master trainer with Hot Fitness, global online and in-person training. Today we're going to be talking about a really crucial, important variable in training that a lot of people never cover. Stay tuned. All right, on today's podcast, what we're going to be talking about is something that I've encountered time and time again in my 8-9 years of online and in-person training. It's not a gender-specific issue. This applies to both males and females, and it's all about your social environment, your support group, your relationships. Let's get right to it. So in all my time training, in the beginning, I noticed it with women that would come in to train that were really excited to build their confidence, to change their bodies, to get their prenatal body back, whatever their goal was. They really felt alive, like they were doing something for themselves again that was positive. They were showing self-love and actually putting care into their health and setting goals and chasing them down, which, you know, if you're a human being, you know that exhilarating feeling of setting a goal and trying to master a craft or chasing it or just to succeed at anything or to feel accomplishment. That's an amazing feeling. What I started to notice was there was an X amount of all women that came in who were just thrilled and enthusiastic, and they came in strong. And whether it happened in the first week or it happened after they got their first major results, like that first boost of confidence after they did a weigh-in or measurements, or they took their progress photos and they were making like significant progress, there would be some kind of, all of a sudden the support rug was ripped out from underneath them from their partner. Typically their partner wasn't training. And I have a couple theories on why this happens. Obviously I am not a psychologist, but I have been in the industry for a long time, and I've seen this happen time and time again with not only females that come in to train, but even males that come in to train, and how their significant other or partner reacts to their progress. So what happens is the home life or the relationship starts to experience friction. This friction is due to a lack of support from the partner that isn't in training or making significant progress. This isn't isolated to just romantic relationships, by the way. This happens with your close friends. This happens with close family members. It happens so much so that I've had to put out a whole learning module series on how to deal with this mechanism that happens and the way that people react to your progress in life. It's just something that if it hasn't happened yet, it's probably going to happen. Because as you succeed chasing any goal, whether it's fitness or business or whatever, there are going to be people that are not progressing in their life, and that's going to make them feel a certain way, because what they're doing is they are starting to compare their lives and themselves with you. And if you seem to be rising or progressing or excelling in any avenue that they're not, they don't even know they're doing it sometimes. But what happens is they're going to start projecting a lot of negativity your way, but it's just negativity that they're feeling about themselves. It has nothing to do with you. You haven't changed as a person. It doesn't mean that you're treating them poorly or that self-love and pursuing your hopes, your dreams, your goals is a bad thing. It's nothing you should ever feel guilty about, but it does happen. It happens often. And a lot of you people out there don't know that, like, as trainers, we talk about how important nutrition is, how important rest is. A good training program that's built for you, raising your resting metabolic rate when it comes to weight loss, things like that, being in a caloric deficit. We talk about a lot of variables, but this variable right here that I'm talking about today is probably one of the biggest variables that I see derail people from their goals, male and female. They allow the opinions of other people, or all of a sudden their partner's on board at first. They're like, okay, yeah, I guess go start working out. If it makes you happy, do it, until they experience the happiness that you get from it. Because now you're creating your own happiness in life, and it's not completely codependent on the validation of another person, right? So now your happiness you're creating for yourself, it's not replacing them, but it frees you from an addiction to a relationship, whether that be a friend or a significant other or whatever. You're no longer addicted to that person continually feeding you confidence or compliments or validating your emotions or anything. You're out there and you're doing something for yourself, and you're creating a life that makes you happy, more confident, and you're even changing the way you look in the process. That can be threatening to a lot of your relationships, to your friends, to your partner. That could threaten them. It could make them feel insecure, like they're losing you, because now you have this confidence where you could take on the world, and maybe they're thinking that means that she could have anybody she wants. He could have anybody he wants. He looks so good. He's so confident now, and then they start just becoming insecure, reflecting on themselves, and maybe they're feeling inadequate, like they can't make you happy. They're feeling that way almost naturally. It's not that they're bad people. It's that they're used to being your source of happiness, and you relying on them. And now you've created your own sense of happiness and self-worth that isn't derived from another human being, right? So naturally they're going to feel replaced. They're going to feel replaced. So they're not naturally, I don't think their intentions are bad, and they're obviously feeling a certain way. And I think most of the times they don't even understand why they're feeling that way, but they could do some really toxic and negative shit to try to pull you down from where you're going. I've seen it time and time again. Now, what I've noticed is relationships with great communication are able to resolve this issue, explain the way they're feeling, address it, and then it makes the relationship stronger. But if there's not that kind of communication in the relationship, whether it's your friends or your partner, and the communication has to be two-way. It can't be one person doing all the talking. The other person has to listen and also share as well, and really create a team environment that's really supportive of your goals and your dreams. And if you don't have that, I am sorry to say that, one, you're going to have a hard time accomplishing your goals, or two, you're going to accomplish your goals, but there may be sacrifices, and you don't need to feel guilty for them. You're either living for yourself or you're completely living for other people to make them happy. At some point, you have to realize you can't make everybody happy, but you can make yourself happy. You can pursue your goals and your dreams, and you can create your own happiness. Hopefully what happens is, through communication, the other person, one, is put at ease that it has nothing to do with you taking away love for them. It's just that you starting to make a little space for me time to love myself. And when you explain the importance of that, it it should go over well. It should. The other person should love and respect you enough to accept your boundaries, that, hey, I'm going to set aside this much time per week to focus on my personal development, so I become a better person, a happier person, and a more confident person, because I want to grow and evolve throughout my lifespan. Hopefully the other person is inspired and they choose to some way follow suit and do something that's good for them. Maybe they create their own space for me time. Maybe they decide that they're going to go play golf or pick up a hobby or join a softball team or do something that's healthy and inspiring for them, that is a little me time. So a little space in the relationship is good. A little space to work on yourself is brilliant. That's what keeps relationships healthy. If you're so codependent, where you're only allowed to derive happiness from one person, and you're not even allowed to create it for yourself on your solo mission to improve your health, your fitness, your physique, your confidence, whatever it is you're chasing, as long as it's in a healthy balance with the rest of your life, as long as you're still loving your family, as long as you're still putting the time required in to maintain a healthy relationship, as long as you're still handling your responsibilities, and you're keeping your life in balance, there should be nothing wrong with that. You should not feel guilty about improving your situation or chasing down your dreams and doing what you know is in your heart to do, that is going to lead to your happiness and your health. You cannot let friends, mothers, fathers, significant others hold you back. And the reason is, you're going to live a miserable life of depression and regret as you age. You're going to become bitter and resentful, and you will eventually blame those people for holding you back, but you can't. At the end of the day, there's absolutely no excuse for the life you lived. Your choices are your own. This is a free world we live in, and you are not property. You have to say, I'm living this life because I choose to, or you're going to have to swallow the harsh reality that you're not living the life you're choosing to live, and that you're giving your decision-making capabilities up to your friends, families, or significant others. If that's what makes you happy, go for it. I don't believe it leads to happiness. That's my opinion. I'm not certainly not trying to break, destroy, or tear down any relationships that you find valuable in your life. However, I do believe in healthy, optimum training, living a full, well-balanced life that is high in quality, richness, fulfillment, and happiness. I believe that is your right to chase that down. So as coaches and as trainers at Hot Fitness, we encounter these obstacles quite often. Um, our number one goal is the client's happiness. We determine what that is and what that means to them. And we ask them to project what they want their life to be a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. Paint that picture for us. Tell us what it includes and what it doesn't include. You know what usually isn't included? Living your life to please other people. That's one of the first things that people start talking about. They're a people pleaser and they want to stop being that way. We understand that training is not just the body. We're a multidimensional creatures as human beings. We have a mind with a myriad of thoughts, um, sometimes conflicting thoughts. We get pulled in different directions. Same way with our emotions. We experience a variety of emotions every single day. Sometimes some of us more than others. Um, all of these things factor into the outcome of your goal, because how you will let it affect your path towards your goal is going to directly impact your level of success. We don't want to be ice cold. We don't want to be unempathetic to the world. We don't want to shut them out. We want to increase our understanding and our own personal development so that we can understand other people's positions. In my journey to success, whether that's in my physique, in my business, or my own personal health, I have lost friends along the way. When I quit smoking cigarettes, the smokers obviously quit inviting me to smoke breaks. When I quit drinking, you don't get invited to go out to drinks and dinners and things like that. In fact, really good friends of mine have actually said some really mean things about me and started fit shaming me or projecting their own self-hatred onto me. Luckily, I'm not going to say it never affected me emotionally at first, because it did. But through my continual transformations and always trying to develop myself and evolve into the person that I'm choosing to become, I understand that not everyone is going to be with me when I reach my end goal. There will be some. They're called true friends. True friends that listen to you when you say, this is what makes me happy and it's important to me, and they support you in that. Those are true friends. The other people can become quite toxic. And that's when you have to create space, not only to protect your emotions, but also your psychology. Your mind is up to you to protect. The thoughts that you allow into your head, the thoughts that you choose to dwell on, are they yours, or are they some other person trying to hold you back? Do they say something and now you're chewing on it, and maybe now you're second guessing your goals, thinking you're a bad person and feeling guilt? Because what? Because you want to start working out and get healthier and lose some weight and gain some confidence? What is wrong with being confident, as the song goes? Why should that threaten anyone? The only people that's going to threaten are people that are using your lack of confidence as a weakness to dominate and engineer your life for you. You become possessions to those type of people. It's sad, but it's true. And the more confidence that you develop, the more independently you can think, and the more secure you become in yourself and your own abilities. And you also learn a really valuable lesson. It's called self-worth. And you learn what makes you happy. You also learn independence, and that you really don't need anybody but you to make you happy. You have been with you since you came out of the womb. You have been with you through every high and every low that this world has presented to you, every sadness and every joy, every hardship and every success. You are really your only ride or die. You may have people extremely close to you in your life, and that is a terrific, wonderful thing. But at the end of the day, it's still you with you, and you're the only person that's going to be there the moment that you leave this world. You owe it to yourself to pursue your dreams, your goals, and your happiness. You cannot waste your life thinking about and allowing other people's thoughts and opinions to control what is ultimately your life. It'll rob you of your joy. It'll rob you of beauty. It'll rob you of reaching your full potential, no matter what that is. Setting boundaries over the influence that this world, social media, friends, family, partners have over your direction in life is very healthy. It also creates self-respect. Because if you don't respect yourself and you don't love yourself enough to set boundaries, no one else is going to do that to you either. You're not setting up the standard for how you should be treated. If you're not treating yourself the way you should be treated, how can you expect anybody else to? If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not loving yourself, how can we logically expect other people to love us in any other way except the way we're treating ourselves? We're showing them how we want to be treated. We're showing them we're either extremely codependent and needy, or we're showing them that we have a sense of independence, self-worth, self-identity, and that we're in charge of our direction in life. And you know what? At the end of the day, a confident person that is chasing their goals and their dreams actually makes their partner feel better, because when you do spend time with the other person, they know you're there because you choose to be, and you enjoy being with them. And you're not there because you're addicted to codependency or whatever validation they may be giving you. You're not there because you're afraid to be alone, and you're not there for compliments. You're there because you genuinely enjoy them. And that is a greater feeling to a man or a woman than for them to think that you're only there because you need them or you have to have them, because you cannot function alone and you have no confidence without them and you have no self-worth without them, and they give you all of your value. They will eventually look at you as a liability. They're going to look at you as a setback. They're going to look at you as an energy drainer that is not able to produce your own energy, your own happiness, your own confidence. So remember that if you're on a transformation of your own life, whether that be in health and fitness or in other avenues of your life, these people aren't necessarily bad if they don't support you. But when you start something new and you decide to change, you have to understand that changes the dynamic of your relationships, because you're evolving and becoming a new person. As you become a new person, the fact is, the people that you were with as the old person are going to have to make a decision. Do I like the new person? Do we have things in common? Do we still enjoy spending time together, or do we not? And that's only fair. As long as you're not hateful, you're not resentful, and you keep all the negative emotions and just look at things clearly, you're able to understand the other person's position. It doesn't mean that you have to kneel to their feelings or their thoughts on or their opinions, but at least you can understand how they're feeling. You could be empathetic, and you could put the shoe on the other foot and realize, if I wasn't personally developing, if I was just fine and happy with the way things were, but this other person chose to create their own happiness and stuff like that, would I feel threatened? It would almost be like, if you're in a monogamous relationship and your partner is now getting a sense of self-worth or happiness from another person, all of a sudden you may feel threatened. You may feel like that's threatening to your relationship. It may not necessarily be a threat to your relationship, but it can make you feel that way. So it's important to remember to obtain your resolve. You either want something for you, or you're going to live for the world. You're going to live for the opinions of people. Doesn't mean you have to hurt people on the way up, but if they choose to be hurt by you chasing your dreams and your happiness, that's their choice to feel that way. And you don't need to feel guilty about that, especially if you handle yourself with a little couth and self-respect, and you're able to communicate. Communication is key, but you have to be honest with yourself first. You have to be willing and have the courage to love yourself enough to set boundaries. You have to have the courage to chase your dreams and not care what people think about it. You have to have the courage to believe that you can create your own happiness. That way you're independent from neediness of other people to create happiness for you, which ultimately was going to make a better society and a better world. It's going to create a lot less usury. We won't need to use each other and extort each other to fill voids. You have the capabilities of achieving anything you want in your health, your fitness, your life, no matter what situation you're in. The choice is yours. Maybe you need a guide. Maybe you need a coach. Maybe you need a trainer, a mentor. Maybe you need some encouragement, some cheerleaders that support you to help you get started. But the ability is all within you, and it all comes down to choice and what we will and will not allow in our lives. Think about that. It's just some food for thought today. That is something that I've noticed it happens to men and women. Like I said, this isn't a gender-specific issue, but there is always going to be a certain level of relationships that get sacrificed on the way to success. Hopefully it's not a lot. Hopefully you're surrounded by great supportive people who love you and only want the best for you and what makes you happy. I hope that is the case for you. For those of you out there who find that not every relationship in your life is that supportive, then you have a choice to make. You choose to do what is healthy and happy and best for you long-term in life, or you are running a risk of living with a lot of depression and bitterness and wasting a lot of time. Because if you don't identify those people now as they start to treat you poorly and you tolerate it, whatever you put up with today, you got to live with tomorrow. And that may go on for 10, 20 years until you've had enough. And then that's 10 or 20 years of your life that you've wasted not chasing your dreams, being held back. And then you're going to look back and blame that other person for robbing you of 20 years, but they didn't rob you. You allowed yourself to be robbed. It's up to you to decide what's in your life and what's not. Social media has block buttons. It has remove buttons. You don't have to live on your phone. There's a life outside of your phone. If you don't like something, if it triggers you, if it makes you feel guilt, shame, whatever, for doing what you know is best for you, why are you allowing it into your mind? If there is a person in your life that is constantly putting you down just because you're doing something healthy or happy for yourself, whether that's going and creating just space where you can be alone for a little while, maybe they're not that supportive of you, and maybe they don't actually love you the way you want to be loved. Maybe they just want control. Some things to think about. Been doing this for a long time, and this is a lot more common than we give it credit for as trainers. I think it needs to be talked about more in the fitness industry because it's just as important to create your environment for healthy growth. You got to have good soil to grow in. It's just as important to have that as it is to have proper rest, nutrition, and the proper training program when it comes to fitness. If you really want to reach your goals, you have to have a strong support system. If you're allowing negativity and naysayers into your mind is just going to repeat their words all day long. They're going to have you second guess your path, and it is going to affect everything. It's going to cause stress. We all know what stress does to the body. We'll cover that in other sessions, and chemical imbalances in the body as it relates to stress and hormones. But today, we're just talking about the relationships that you're forming or dissolving in your life so you can be successful. That's just an opinion from a guy who's been training for 8 years. I've seen a lot of stuff, guys. Hopefully it helped. And if you ever need something, feel free to reach out. teamhopfitness.com. We are global online trainers and coaches. We train people all over the world, whether you need life coaching, nutritional coaching, or personal training programs, or live personal training sessions with personal trainers. We got you. We don't bullshit you. We will always tell you the truth. Our number one objective is for you to achieve the quality of life and happiness that you truly want. We work for you. We don't work for your friends, your family, and their opinions, or even your partner. When you work with us, you become part of our family and our team, and nothing but your success is a priority to us. I hope it's a priority to you. I hope that you're putting yourself on the priority list. If you're not number one, hopefully you're in the top 4 in your life. Otherwise, you're putting yourself on the back burner for everybody else. And I've seen the long-term consequences of that, and that it does not end in happiness. Think that over. Wherever you're at in life, wherever you see this in the world, hopefully it inspires you to make some positive changes in your life, to love yourself, to set healthy boundaries with all of your relationships, and to just be honest with yourself. What is going to make you happy? What is really, truly going to lead you towards happiness and fulfillment and fulfilling your purpose and finding out what you're capable of? The choice is yours. No one can make it for you. And I can't tell you how to think or feel. You could totally disagree with me, and that's okay. But that's a choice you made. And just own your choices. That's all we can do is own our choices. teamhopfitness.com, everybody.